Hello, my name is Mariana, and today this is a reading for Leo. So, Leo, as usual, I'm doing this reading with my own tarot deck, so the cards that you'll see are from this deck. So, Leo, we have a very specific message and a very clear one today for you in regards to a specific relationship that you seem not to want to think about it, but the more you try to not think about it, the more you feel the nostalgia, the absence of this person, because it feels like you're reminiscing on the good old days, and it feels like you're a little bit stuck in that loop, right? In that thought that is just going round and round in your mind, as if, getting back together with this person, from what it seems to be like this, it's like the love of your life is what I'm hearing. But you seem to be kind of a little bit close-minded in regards to how you see this person or how you see this relationship. But mainly, you're stuck in this loop, it seems, because you don't see yourself. And this is the guidance here, specifically coming from the bottom row of cards that are all major arcana. And what they want to tell you, what they want to guide you towards, is you just knowing who you are, looking to yourself and finding clarity within, not without, not in another person. So breaking free from a specific pattern in regards to relationships. So this is the main message. Maybe I could just, stop the reading right now, because that's the whole message. But let's start seeing the details, because I feel like either this has been going on for a little bit of time, or you just feel like you're stuck. Because I feel like here, starting with this Knight of Swords, this helmet has been constricting your thoughts or constricting your mind, or it's just the sense of being too tight, right? It's almost like wanting to take off this helmet to feel freer, right? It's like just feel like your mind is open to new thoughts, new ways of thinking, and not being able to. It's almost like it's reminding me of a movie that I can't remember the name in English, but in Portuguese I think it's in English it could be that, I don't know, I'm just freely translating this, but in Portuguese is O Homem na Máscara. So maybe in English is The Man in the Mask. I think that's the name. I've watched this movie when I was a child, so that's the reason why I don't recall the name exactly, but I remember the angst of this man wearing this mask and not being able to show its true face, right? And so I feel like this is what you might be struggling with, because it's not that you don't love them, right? Because what you seem to be stuck in this mental loop is in regards to the Two of Cups. So I feel like here, it's almost like you haven't achieved this sense of like a bigger picture type of view or perspective. There is love, right? There is this true, authentic, heartfelt love. There is this heart resonance. I do feel like what you carry from this person or from this relationship, it's just like, the good old memories. This is what I'm picking up from the Six of Cups. So not only you see them as the love of your life, but with the Six of Cups, there is this reminiscing in the good old days, right, is what I keep hearing. It's like you go back to the good old days. You go back to the good memories. You go back to when you were just happy with this person, right? When you felt perhaps fulfilled. But see how there is like this discrepancy. You're still showing up as a knight, or you are beginning this reading as the knight, right? The Knight of Swords. So why can't you think of something else other than this? Because of this helmet, it feels like it's stuck in your mind. It feels like it's stuck in your head. And it's interesting because I feel like somehow you are aware of this, right? Because it's almost like there is this spotlight, and the sun is coming up later on. It feels like there is this spotlight that whenever you turn on your thought. Or imagine like whenever you wake up, right? During your day, this is all you can think of. It's like the moment that your mind is turned on, this is what it shines a light on, right? The relationship and the good old days, the nostalgia. It's like what you're missing the most, their company essentially, right? It's like this heartfelt resonance, this reciprocal relationship. So it's interesting because I'm not seeing the reason why they're not here. And to be honest, I feel like that is not even the most important part, because your reading today doesn't want to focus in the other person. It's more about you, and we're going to get there. But it's just pointing to the fact that you are still stuck in this focused view about this relationship, about this specific person, and how you felt good when you were with them, how you have good memories, right? So that is something to cherish. That is something to appreciate, to value. But you seem to be feeling like you are starting to be bothered by the fact that you cannot think about anything else, especially because next we have the Ace of Swords. However, for the first time, I'm seeing this Ace of Swords not as a clear direction forward, although we could say that there is this intention of finding clarity because we have the Sun next. So it's almost like if you follow this path, and I feel like this is your own internal thought telling you that if you just focus in them, you're going to be clear about what is this relationship. But what I feel like I should say about this, or maybe I should rephrase this, what I feel like I'm here to tell you in a very clear way, in a very direct, straightforward way, is that in finding this one direction, finding this sole direction towards clarity, you're missing out the big picture. So you see here how this Ace of Swords is just one of the triangles from all of the race, right? And it's interesting because we have the Hermit coming next, which is suggesting, it's almost like recommending a solo time, right? It's like you being with yourself, becoming comfortable with yourself, allowing to work on this internal geometry so that it reflects on the outside. But it's almost like the moment that you enter this hermit mode to think about yourself, to focus in yourself and not this other, it feels like you're going to understand that this truth, maybe about yourself or about this relationship, it doesn't have one only perspective or one only path. It's almost like you have to experiment, and maybe, there's this cycle of the sun, right? So maybe several days that the sun is going to come up and going to go down. It's like allow yourself a few days that you can explore each of these rays, because it's almost like the hermit here is this geometry that represents one ray of the sun. So each one is being represented here and here. It's just that because you are seeing this as the only way, right, focusing on them or thinking about them, even if you don't want, it's almost like this automatic thought, right? It's like the moment that you're up, that the sun is up, it's like you're thinking about them, you're reminiscing. So here, it's like allow yourself to remove this mask, allow yourself to remove the helmet. It is keeping you in this loop, in this, it's like just stuck in this same thought, right? And so you need to see the big picture by traveling to each ray of the sun. And I know that that might sound very symbolic, but it wants to be kind of like experimenting with different perspectives, not only this one truth that you thought was the only one that could bring you clarity, right? And Leos, you are ruled by the sun. So this is you. It's like you expressing in different ways, right? So you finding clarity within, right? So it's like it's your light that is shining through, and it's shining, in multiple different ways. But it's only when you experiment with being solo, being a hermit, right? And being a hermit is not just sitting and waiting, right? There is a lot going on inside this tent, right? Inside this pyramid, inside this lab, right? It's like it's you working with yourself, working with your mind. It's almost like going into this hermit mode to figure out how you're going to remove this helmet that has been, stuck in your head. So, and the reason why I feel like you get at some point you get to a place where you are able to break free from that, because we're ending here with the Judgment, but the Judgment here is upside down. And so the way that I was perceiving this is that there is the need for you to really push, right? It's like there is this anti-gravity type of strength that you need. It's almost like, because you're so focused in this loophole, in this thought form, in this relationship, in the good old days, and you see there's nothing wrong with that. So that's something that I should point out as well. It's like there's nothing wrong with that. There aren't like bad memories. It's like you're just reminiscing in the good old days. So it's maybe even harder for you to really let go of this helmet, because it's almost like it's bringing you like a good feeling, right? A sense of comfort, a sense of embrace. So maybe that's the hardest thing. It's like if it was a bad memory, maybe it was a little bit easier to let go of. So that's the reason why I feel like the Judgment, it's upside down, because it's like, it's almost like counterintuitive what you have to do, right? You thought that you were just focusing on this person, they would eventually come back or show up or, reconnect. But because you're stuck in this only direction, right? So with only one of the options that that you are, it's like you're known for your multiplicity of expressions or ways of showing your love, showing yourself, showing your light, right? With all of these rays. But if you think that it's like who you are is just one of them, it's like you're reducing yourself to, a fraction of your light. So don't do that to yourself, right? It's like you're such a beautiful being, Leo, right? It's like you're meant to shine in every direction. So go to this hermit mode, because at some point, it's almost like, I feel like you're going to experiment again with being in this hermit mode for, it's almost like a full year of the cycle of the sun, right? So the sun going through the signs, going through the constellations, just a way of experimenting with yourself in multiple, it's like in multiple venues or like avenues of expression. So you with yourself doing the inner work, working on this internal geometry so that it reflects, right? So it's almost like if you keep on wearing the mask, wearing the helmet, and what I mean by that is like allowing yourself to follow the same old mental pattern, right? Because the geometry is essentially like a pattern. So that is the geometry that you're working towards changing, towards breaking, right? But it is counterintuitive. It's not going to go through the same path that you thought it was going to go. It's like it's you experimenting with yourself, allowing yourself to be by yourself, working in your own internal patterns, so that when you are, it's almost like when you are here enough and you have found this other way, this counterintuitive way to break this cycle, break this pattern, break the helmet, break the mask, it's like the light that you're going to shine, it's going to reflect upon this external pattern and it's going to be obvious. It's like you're going to feel the difference. You're going to feel the shift in regards to like, I was going to say like the effort that it requires, but it's almost like taking your power back, right? And it's almost like you have to go against your own thoughts, basically, right? Because you need the full picture. It's like experiment with every ray, with every direction, not just the one that you're your mind is used to. And I feel like you're going to know when you have broken the pattern, not only because maybe you're going to feel more empowered, but because the bottom of the deck card is the Nine of Cups. So this is fulfillment. This is you being okay with yourself, right? It's like feeling good, not just about that one person, but you. Sorry about that, but I knew this one was going to be a bit of a more concise message, just because it feels like you already know what you're struggling with. You already know maybe the way out of this pattern, right? And so how fulfilling that can be, maybe that is the bit that is going to surprise you. Maybe that is the part that you're not expecting, because, you know, it's not this old way of judging things. It's like it's the opposite. It's like letting go of judgment, but breaking free of an old pattern that just takes you back, you know, to the past. And this is you just feeling the sense of goodness, the sense of beauty, the sense of fulfillment with yourself, right? Because the 9 to me represents the individual path. So it's you loving yourself. Your love is not necessarily conditioned by another or dependent on another, right? It's like you shining a light in your own heart and loving yourself for it, right? Loving yourself for making that decision, you know, for this, for yourself, for your life, for your hermit mode that somehow is it's like it's giving you more wisdom than you thought. It's giving you like the truest true than you thought, right? At first you were just stuck in your mind, but here it's like you're fulfilled with yourself and you're okay with your own company. It's like you love being with yourself, right? So I feel like that's coming down the line when you break free from that old judgmental type of pattern that you don't even know until you get there, right? It's like because you don't expect judgment to be here. It's like these are only good memories, right? So, Leo, I am going to pull more cards to see where this wants to go next. Maybe we have more details about what happens after you break free from that old pattern, that old cycle, and maybe you know more about who you are. So not only you're enjoying that, but it's like you're expressing that in other fields, not just love or romantic love or relationships. So, alongside the cards, I'm also going to pull the astrological runes in the extended reading. So if you want to join me there, I'll be very happy to see you. You can find link down below. If not, I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.